The M26 Adrian is actually a redesign of the earlier M15 Adrian helmet, which first saw use during World War I. But by 1926, the French military realized the M15 had its flaws. Mainly, the steel was too light, which meant it could be easily dented and destroyed, and the design was overly complicated to mass produce efficiently. So, the M26 was born. It used a stronger steel and has simpler two-piece design, which made it way easier to manufacture. No one officially knows when it entered service. However, between 1930 and 1936 is when it's believed to have first been issued to French soldiers. At the outbreak of the war, the M26 had been the standard issue helmet for the French military. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any sources on how the French soldiers actually perceived the helmet. However, there seems to be a mixed bag of opinions online whether the French soldiers actually liked the helmet or thought it was too limited on its protection compared to the German M35 and M40 helmets. After France's capitulation in May 1940, things obviously had to change for the Free French as production came to a halt on the helmet. Generally, the Adrian still saw use across the Mediterranean and African theaters, while also receiving supplements of helmets from other Allied nations. But it is really dependent on what unit they were in and where that unit was stationed after the fall of France. Units during the later stages of the war that were refitted by the American Lend-Lease received the M1 helmet and would go on to see usage in the fighting in Italy as well as the invasion of France. In August 1944, a small batch of helmets were produced by liberated France after they regained control of Paris and the re-establishment of the French government. So how do you identify which Adrian is an M26 and which is an M15? Well, there's a few things to look out for. The M15 is a 4-piece build, which means it has 4 pieces that come together to form the helmet. It has a shell, a visor, a neck guard, and that signature crest on top. The M26 is much simpler. It just has a shell and a crest with 2 rivets holding the crest in place. 2 pieces total. If you take a look at the chin straps on both helmets, the M26 uses 2 large buckles at the liner connection, while the M15 has smaller, more delicate ones. There were only 8 official manufacturers of the M26 helmet: Doucier, Jadonnet et Fil, Frank, Thibault, Carpentier, Boucher, Manufacture des Motus Ouvriers, and Chappie. Once you look inside the helmet shell, you'll often find an ink stamp underneath the liner with either the company's full name or initials. Some like Loucher, Doucier, and MMO also include the year of production. As for sizing, they're marked by the letter. B equals sizes 54 to 56 centimeters, C is 57 to 59 centimeters, D is 60 to 62 centimeters. How do you spot the difference between a reproduction and an original? Start by looking at the liner. An original will have aged leather and nothing shiny or new looking. Also, check the inside of the shell for an ink stamp and the liner for an ink stamp. If you see a helmet stamped with a 2 at the rim, that means it was made under the Vichy regime for civil or fortress defense during the German occupation. Early production M26s actually reused World War I M15 emblems on the front. It wasn't until 1937 that the new circular badges came into production. So there you have it, everything you need to know about the M26 Adrian. Where it came from, its history, service in the war, and how to identify one. If you got value out of this video, do me a favor, like, subscribe, drop a comment below if you've got one of these helmets or are on the hunt for one. I'd love to hear your story. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.